there is a bit of a misunderstanding in terms of Valpolicella because you have to know that in the 80s and 90s, this is a story I used to tell. There was this, rediscover renaissance of Amarone, and that was actually mainly exported. I think it was like 90% of export, like Amarone. And if you think that Barolo was the opposite, they started to export in the 80s. The idea that is a wine made with raisins, which in a way technically kill with the concept of terroir because they tend to taste similar one to the other. She makes an incredible description about the soul of the local farmers, how they were detached by them, in this kind of a feudal system where there were no contact between the owner of the land with the workers. And so you have to understand that these people have been struggling a lot, working really hard. And so when there was the economical boom here, this land was about making money. We've been working with them with Salumeria Roscioli for a long time. But then I retried the wine recently. I was like shocked completely. This is the one that I never tried, and so I like the idea also to share with you a wine that possibly will be part of the wine club in the future, or maybe in our tasting. So questa è una Garganica. So,
yes, 100%.
Okay, which kind of process is doing?
Very simple, normal vinification. We collect. Normally we have no discard. Garganica is pretty generous, and the quantity is regulated by our agriculture. We leave it go, and we let it rest in boxes for 5 days in order to dry up a bit from humidity, and then we gently press, partially by hand, partially directly in the press, and then we have no skin contact at all. I took this because my idea is always to have not any ingredients, just grapes. After the first strong fermentation, the bubbling fermentation, that we do it still in cement, then we move the wine and put in marble tanks. Marble tanks done in geometric sense because I also study the volumes. Different volumes means the wine can keep moving for the different temperature, up and down to different volume, different temperature, even if it's just a bit, is enough to keep a movement of the wine. And the wine, this is not filtered at all.
Bellissimo. It has a grip at the end of salty, gunflint, smoky.
Yeah, this is something I like you describe. I'm actually very focused on describe this Garganica coming from an hyper calcareous soil.
Yeah.
Hyper, I just saw that before. It's a calcareous dust with some clay into.
So now we move to the Amarone, which is the
Amarone.
It's the
beginning of the project. This bottle was the first approach to the different agriculture methods. I mean, the biodynamic.
What is incredible about this winery is and I'm strongly supporting them. This is the only winery that produce more than 80,000 bottles in the wine club. The other one it's actually Marabino. We never made an exception in more than 7 years in our wine club. It was about strict and smaller quantities. And if I did this exception, it's because the story is not just because the wines are beautiful, but also the story behind. I like the idea that she somehow turn upside down this winery into something different. Passing through organic and biodynamic and changing completely the style and the approach with the environment. But it's no sense. Just watch the video that we made. She says all these things already. So this wine here, you were saying, is your first baby, right?
See, my first baby. First time I wanted to try something different in agriculture. Mostly at the beginning into the cellar. I was 25 years old. Just to get out from the sommelier, sommelier
terrible
school.
sommelier association.
Sì, but I'm talking about 1995.
Oh my God.
Ecco.
Okay.
So this wine, born in 1999, 2000 actually, first vintage, is produced at the beginning just from women, because they were the only people not laughing behind me about this project, because they are more careful, more patient. We are talking about the 2000, not now, 20 years ago. So was a bit different. And so when I saw just the best bunches were just the best bunches, not and what a difference is handily made 100%. Of course now is less different than in the past, because in the past we don't use the biodynamic approach.
Okay.
Now it's not that different except for the music approach, for the pressing my hand and feet, and for the maceration, because I live in maceration for 5 months or even 6, and this is the reason why it's so fine and so delicate. Even if it is super wine long, this is the wine I can drink a bottle. I'm not able to drink a bottle of Amarone.
I get that this is slightly portish chocolate
Yeah,
issues.
sweetness, yeah,
I get
fine
this
disease.
slightly a bit of a concentration of the alcohol from the 90s and in general, the concept of Nemarone, but then I have the soil at the end. It's the second glass, and it never happened to me that I poured 2 glasses of Amarone. The only one that actually made me pour 2 glasses was Monte dei Ragni.